There would even be women outside at 12 a.m. with their newborn baby. My baby needs Pampers, my baby needs milk, guilt tripping tourists into trying to buy things. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I am Fabienne. Travel, DC living, faith, wellness, fitness, all of those things. Today we are going to get into travel. So as you guys know, I've been to almost 30 countries. One country in particular I've been to multiple times, so I'm going to talk about my experiences and just some things that you could probably know about if you plan on traveling there. So the country in particular is Colombia. And of course, it has become a hotspot travel or tourist destination. That is Cartagena, Medellin, even Bogota is becoming very popular. So we're going to talk about Cartagena specifically in this vlog or in this video just because one, I feel like that is getting a lot of notoriety and popularity, and just like a lot of lenses are on Cartagena at this time. So I've been to Cartagena twice. And both times I would say overall have been really good experiences. The first time I went to Cartagena was in 2022, and I would say that was probably my best experience, or most fun, everything. And I felt like the most safe and comfortable. I do feel because more tourists are going that it is changing the landscape of tourism in Cartagena, just frankly speaking. So some of the things that I do think make Cartagena feel unsafe. And before I get into those things, I do want to say that this is not to cause any type of fear mongering or anything like that. Again, I enjoyed my time. I feel like Colombia is a beautiful country, great food, great culture. But if you are traveling there, there are some things that you need to be aware of and things that you should be cognizant about if you are in Colombia at this time, especially if you're like American. So number one, with Colombia, the alcohol. If you're a person who drinks, I do want to warn that a lot of the alcohol bottles are tampered with. And what do I mean by that is, like, several bottles I would always see that they were misaligned because they were reselling the liquor. I personally feel and truly believe that a lot of the liquor is diluted. They dilute the liquor, reseal it, package it. But with that, you just don't know if they're adding anything else besides water or whatever the case may be. So that is something to note, that not to say that anyone I was with on either trip got sick, but it is just something to note that it isn't in its original form. Secondly, because of the life that actual native Colombians who live in Cartagena live every day, a lot of people are like hustling and trying to, survive, and that is the nature of their living. And so you will get a lot of people like coming up to you, soliciting. So there are things that you need to be prepared for. So number one, everyone wants their cut. Like, everyone wants to make $1. So that is between the women who are in traditional Colombian wear, that is with the performers on the street, that is with the people who get into the horses, that is also with the horse carriage rides. Like, no matter what it is, everyone wants a cut, everyone wants $1, everyone is going to ask you for money. That's just the name of the game. Now, the second time I went to Colombia, it was worse. Like, it was at an all-time high. No matter where we went, I felt like I was being accosted. I kid you not. And again, this is not to speak negatively on the Colombian people or anything like that, but it's just the facts. We could not walk down the street without someone coming up to us, someone trying to ask us for money. We couldn't go anywhere where someone didn't want $1 for any basic thing. There would even be women outside at 12 a.m. with their newborn baby. My baby needs Pampers, my baby needs milk, guilt tripping tourists into trying to buy things at 12 a.m. outside with their newborn or their toddler. So things like that kind of skewed my opinion and view on wanting to return to Cartagena for another visit after my last visit, just because it was so overwhelming. Like, there was just no space for me to go anywhere without any panhandling, and that's just the name of the game. So if you're gonna go there, just be prepared. Everyone's going to want you to like give the money, tip, things of that nature. So that is something that you need to be aware of. Another thing, if you are, there are like certain parts of Colombia, or Cartagena should I say, that are popular, especially for tourists, should I say. So you of course have like the walled city, and then you have like old Cartagena. Or old Cartagena is basically like the wall city, and then you have like the part that looks like Miami, the fun part. So when you are navigating these spaces, you want to be very careful. Some places really target tourists, especially Americans, for the simple fact that they feel like you have money, and the fact that they feel like they can extort you, or some people say traffic, which we'll also get into. So I think it's important to make sure you have an itinerary, know where you're going, know how to move, make sure you're not talking to everyone, make sure you're not being oblivious to what certain situations you are in, because that is very, very important. You need to have your head on a swivel. Don't think that you are in your hometown where you should feel super safe, because it's just different. Speaking on that, I know some people who have done this, but I don't think I would do a solo trip there. This is a person who does like solo trips all the time. I wouldn't do a solo trip there, just because of like how overwhelming I told you it was. The second time I actually went with men, and it was still like overwhelming. So just keep that in mind. So trafficking. There are so many ex-workers, and I'm saying ex because I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but there are so many ex-workers. So you will be going out at night, and on the street are actual workers that like passport bros are trying to, if you get what I'm saying, okay? So that is just something to note. That is heavy over there. Like, that is big over there. And the men can be very, very aggressive because of that, because of the nature of the trafficking and the experiences they're used to getting over there. So also something to note. Another thing I would know is the fact that I don't want to say that they're scamming, but it can come off scammy. So when you're doing excursions, when you are doing like certain meals, and I'm talking about like on the street, or any type of, buying or anything like that, I think it's best to go to Colombia with like cash and just get pesos. Just get pesos. Why? They will literally quote you and say, hey, this is like $100, like USD. You do the excursion, everything, you come back from the excursion, 300. We agreed on 100. You told me that it was 100. And I've seen this multiple times, not just to me and my groups that I've gone with, but with other people. You need to just agree with that price. And once you're starting to do the excursion, pay them that in pesos, so there's no disagreement, and there's no, oh, you're trying to upcharge me X amount of dollars, because remember, USD is way higher than their currency. So I remember when the first time I went to Cartagena, we were doing like the banana boat, and they were like, oh, it's gonna be 35 USD. When we came back, why were they like 50 USD? Literally. And then so many things kept adding up. We should have just paid individually for each thing, but for whatever reason, we just let it all add up, and they literally tried to charge us like 400 USD at the end of our day when we did our excursion. So important to carry cash. Make sure you settle on a price. And I don't want to say you have to record them, but sometimes you do need to record them so you can be like, hey, no, you told me this was the price, because sometimes they will literally try to tell you a false price. Like, so just make sure you are bringing cash. That's another thing. Cash is king there. Like, it's not one of those places that I feel like you really want to use your card or you're trying to pull out Apple Pay. Just get the cash. I'm being very serious about that. Another thing, transportation. I feel like you either need to set up a driver, like just have an official driver. Uber, someone was saying how Uber is supposed to be illegal in Colombia. I didn't know that. I used Colombia both of the times I went to Cartagena. So, and the last time I was in Cartagena was December 2023. So with that being said, yeah, I feel like just use those two things, because they're just more certain than trying to get into a taxi. With the taxi driver, you don't know who they are, what they're trying to do, because some people feel like that's how trafficking is happening. So yeah, just try and be aware of everything. Try to pay in cash. Try to go about systems. So establishing a driver, getting an Uber, that way Uber can track who was your driver. And you should be more okay because of that. So again, I don't think it's like anything wrong with you wanting to go to Colombia. You could have a great time. Like I said before, I had a phenomenal time my first time and a good time my second time. Just be aware of like all the things that can happen and all of the things that people are saying. So if you haven't seen the two like TikToks, I think I might drop like in the description, like the TikToks that you guys can watch that kind of prompted me to do this video. But again, especially if you're American, you're a woman, a Black woman, just be careful when you are traveling to different spaces, and enjoy your time traveling. So that is going to be the end of this video. I do plan on making more videos like this if you guys actually enjoy it, so let me know. So I will talk to you guys in another video. Besos.